Welcome back to the series where we sit down and make sentences together in Korean. Here I'm going to teach you how you can turn any English sentence to Korean sentence. Last time I brought you part 1 and this is what I saw. Let me show you. How can I not bring part 2 when you guys say, this is probably the best video I've seen for learning Korean. Other videos leave out important things or won't explain stuff clearly, but you make everything make so much more sense. Thank you so much. Thank you. I receive. Whew. And then another person wrote, this kind of videos are the best because we're learning vocab, sentence structure, shadowing, tense in all one video. Need part 2, teacher. So when you guys say that, how can I not bring part 2? So here, if you haven't watched part 1 of making sentences together, go ahead and watch it because it's going to be life-changing. And now here we are at part 2 of making sentences together. So you have one job. You're going to bring your notebook and you're going to be learning with me. Give me your attention because I really want to support your learning. Okay? What about we have about 20 to 30 minutes of dedicated study time with me right now as you're watching this video? Yes, capiche? Then let's get to it. All right, so before I go into all of the things, and I know so many of you are wondering, how do I make sense of particles? How do I actually form sentences from scratch, from ground up? This is a brand new course I recently launched like a month ago, and hundreds of students are already enrolled in it. They love it. So I already know a lot of you who are watching this video are coming here to get the support of making sentences in Korean. So after watching this video, you're like, I need more. I like your teaching style and I really need that resource. Then I recommend this new course. I included about 57 videos, step by step, including like how to go about sentence structure beyond SOV, the basics. And then I'm going to teach you how you can expand your vocab without like forgetting everything that you've learned. And then we have like must know Korean words to verb conjugation, present, past, and future tense, essential Korean particles. Each particle has so many uses, right? And I broke it down step by step. So you don't have to go anywhere else. You just have to like watch it. Bite size that's digestible to you. That's what I'm good at. So I did that in my course. And then we will do some pattern study together, conjugating worksheets, and all the irregular verb rules. I am here for you. So if that's something that you're looking for, you guys can go to my website or link in the description. I laid it all down for you. So you guys can either go to my website or the description to check it all out because I want to give you resources beyond YouTube as well. All right. So now let's get to the lesson for this video. Okay. First, if you're brand new here, I want you to know this chart. Be very familiar with it. Maybe you can even color code it in your notebook like I did because colors make learning come alive. So all you have to remember is first the subject and then W stands for three things, when, and then we have whom, and then where. All the three W's, they will belong into the blue column, that one. Okay, remember, in that exact order. When first, and then you'll bring the whom, and then you're going to bring the where. Okay, remember that order. Then we have our object, so that's whatever you are doing something to. The verb is doing something to the object, so remember the object. And then lastly, we always put the verbs at the end in Korean sentences, unlike English. So I guess like that makes it really simple, right? So you have verb last and then everything else in front of it. So naturally, where would the adverbs go? Because adverbs help the verbs. Yep, it would go right here, helping the verb. So if there is any adverb, it's going to go right before the verb to help the verb. Yes? Then let's get to the lesson. You guys know the basics, so I can now show you sentences in English first. I don't like beer. Well, this is a true statement for me, and some of you probably love it. I'll teach you that too. So let's break this down together. I see that's going to be my subject. And then don't like, that's going to be my verb. It's kind of like a pattern too, because you can always repeat and use that. And then beer is the object that you don't like. SVO, that's the English, structure. But Korean, we flip it a little bit. Plus, when the subject is I, it's so clear that you're talking about yourself, right? Like in the conversation, we're not confused that you're talking about someone else, like if you make it clear from the context. So we can drop the subject most of the times because Korean language is based on context. You kind of have to like assume things. So I think that's why there's a lot of miscommunication in Korean language, to be honest. Like they go home and they're like, wait, what did she mean by that? Did she talk? Wait, what does she mean? Was she referring to me or her? Like there was no subject in the sentence. So yeah, that is one downside, but it's also kind of fun because you get to assume and it's like a context based, right? So anyways, we got the beer in Korean is 맥주. Can you repeat after me? 맥주, 맥주, 맥주. So I'm gonna put it right here in the object column. 맥주. And then let's put an object marker because we have markers for everything. I mean, that is why it's important if you're a serious learner, it's really important that you invest in your learning, right? Whether it's a textbook, it's a course, like if you find a teacher that you're like aligned with, like I can trust this teaching. Oh, I really like the way she teaches, he teaches, whatever, whoever it is. If you found it, invest in your learning. It's going to save your time in half. And of course, I cover all about particles, all about past tense, present tense, future tense in my course, Sentence Freedom. So make sure you check it out if you feel aligned with my teaching. So here we have 맥주를, right? 를 is the object marker. Then we can put our verb right here, which is at the end. So 좋아해요. 좋아하다 is to like. I'm going to turn that into present tense. 좋아해요. Now, it says don't like. So that would need 안. That's an adverb actually. 안 좋아해요. So I'm going to put that. 좋아해요. Last time I saw a comment. Thank you so much for your feedback. 2 people wrote, Aina, can you make the handwriting neater so I can see better? I really love that feedback. Thank you so much for letting me know. So initially my iPad was kind of like that. It's like above my desk because I wanted to see it better. So now I'm kind of looking it down because I put it laid down on my desk. So that's why it was really hard for me to write. But now with the feedback, I put it down on my desk. I can write better. So I hope you're seeing it better too. Okay, and thank you for understanding. So 맥주를 안 좋아해요. There is a space here clearly. So I'm just wanted to let you know that part. So 맥주를 안 좋아해요. Say that. 맥주를 안 좋아해요. And if you love it, just don't say this part. 맥주를 좋아해요. I like 맥주. If you don't like it, 맥주를 안 좋아해요. You're kind of learning both at the same time. And in whatever you don't like, whatever you like, you can also substitute that noun with something else too. That is why it's so important to know your vocabulary and study and expand your vocabulary. If you don't have vocabulary, you're going to be stuck with just like one sentence forever. I don't want that to happen ever. So I'm going to show you something. So here we go. Without words, there are no sentences. That's the basics. Like you're here to make sentences, but you're like, I don't know any vocab in Korean. Your first step is to expand your vocab 5 a day. Just 5 a day. That's my recommendation. A week, that's like 5 times 7, 35 words right there. And then you consistently continue and see what happens. And if you need help expanding your vocab, I highly recommend my books, The Ultimate Vocabulary Power Pack, because I made that and they have colors, they have pictures, they have chapters, they have audio. It's just student friendly. I know many textbooks are for teachers, and that breaks my heart because students need something else than teacher-based learning. Because students learn it when it's friendly to their brain. They learn it when it's like stimulating a lot of parts of their brain. And I know that because I've been teaching 3rd graders for a long time. I don't teach 3rd graders anymore, but that's my background. And probably that's why you're like, okay, it makes sense that she's a former 3rd grade teacher. So I'm just letting you know that my books are made really thinking about you guys. So highly recommended. Check it out. I'll also have the link for the ultimate vocab pack in the description as well. Okay, so now let me get rid of that. It's important that you expand your vocab so you know what to plug in to the sentence structure. Okay, so then let's go to the second sentence so we can continue to practice together. Next sentence goes, I wake up at 7 o'clock every day. So take a good look and let's analyze the English parts together. So that's the subject, and wake up is going to be the verb, right? Wake up. Do you guys know how to say that? So think about that. Oh, that's the vocab part, right? At 7, that's going to be part of when. When. Okay, so it's going to be the blue section. Every day, that's also considered when in my chart. But there's two whens. What's going to come first? Here is a trick that no one tells you. If you have two whens or two wheres, two whoms, like two of the same thing in one column, what do? This is my tip for you. Okay, I always tell this to my students who are always confused. In Korean, you're going to place the bigger concept first, and then you go down, okay? What's bigger, at 7 or every day? I feel like the every day is the bigger umbrella because it's like a whole every day, and 7 o'clock is a very specific time. So every day is a bigger concept. So every day is going to be placed first, and then you're going to put 7 o'clock. Yeah, so put that down in your notebook. Bigger concept first in Korean. So now the I, as I said, we omit the I if it's a I or you. If it's a other subject like friend, dad, then you have to mention it, okay? So we don't misunderstand you. And next we have when, so let's plug that in. As I said, every day in Korean is 매일. Everybody say 매일, 매일, 매일. It sounds like mail. So you can say like, you can think of it like, oh, I get mails every day. So that's a connection you're doing. English, like mail every day. Mail every day, something like that. Now, 7 o'clock is 7시. So 일곱, this is native number Korean. 일곱. And then I'm going to put 시. This is the measure word for counting hours. So it goes 1시, 2시, 3시, 4시, 5시, 6시, 7시. 매일 7시. And then I need a particle, 에. This means at in Korean. It can mean in, it can mean on, it can mean many things for at because it's a location marker. That's why we need a course. That's why we need extra support. And if you are a serious learner, highly recommend my course, Sentence Freedom. So here we have 매일 7시에. What happens? You wake up. To wake up is 일어나다. 일어나다, and I conjugate that to present tense and it becomes 일어나요. So I would say 일어나요. So 매일 7시에 일어나요. 매일 7시에 일어나요. You don't need to fill out every part of the column, the box. That's not going to be natural sentence, right? Sometimes I don't have my object. Sometimes I don't have my W. Sometimes I don't have my subject, but verbs are always there in Korean. Sometimes it's like 사랑해. That's love. And that's just the verb, right? And that's a complete sentence. Okay? So then for advanced learners, maybe we can plug in something else other than I. What about my husband wakes up 7 o'clock every day? My husband, if I were to change my subject to husband, it would be 남편. And I can put my husband by putting 제 남편은. Topic mark him. Very specific to that person. 제 남편은 매일 7시에 일어나요. Do you see how important it is to know your vocab, to study that so you know how to say husband? So you're plugging in another subject right there. And you know how to say my friend, then you can say the friend right there. You're like, how do I say mother-in-law? My mother-in-law, 어머님, wakes up at 7 every day. So 제 어머님은 매일 7시에 일어나요. You just change one word from the sentence. It's a completely different sentence. And that's the fun of substituting the vocabulary and really knowing what you're saying, right? So highly challenging you to study 5 vocab a day. So 제 남편은 매일 7시에 일어나요 would be another sentence you can make right there. Now let's go to the next one. Whoa. I decided to start working out starting tomorrow. So here we're going to pause. What is this, Aina? That's called patterns. Have you seen my most recent video? Study patterns with me. Yes, if you have not watched it, go look at it because patterns give you flexibility. It gives you that tool where you can express more than present, past, and future tense of eat, ate, will eat. Like, no. It's more than that. It's like expressions that we use day to day, like I decided to verb, I like noun, I almost verb. Like all of those are expressions that we use, and all you're doing is substituting your verb. Let me show you. So here, you're using the pattern decided to. That's a pattern. I decided to verb. In Korean, you have to know this expression. 기로했어요. Say that. 기로했어요. So we are now going to the pattern study part 2 because patterns are actually belonging to the verb section because you have your verb here and you're just attaching the pattern next to the verb stem. Okay. 기로했어요. So let's now go back to the sentence. So that's the pattern. Start working out. So start working out. This is going to be part of your verb. Starting tomorrow. That's going to be when. Yup. I always say that. I'm going to work out starting tomorrow. But it's like this. It's so hard. It's not part of my nature to work out. I have to literally crawl out of my house. Anybody feeling me? Like I drag myself to the gym. I know I have to do it to be the best teacher for you guys so I can take care of my health. Because literally someone wrote in the email 2 weeks ago, Aina, please live long. I need you as a teacher as long as I live. And I'm like, okay, I will live long. So I have to stay healthy. So this is what I decided to do starting tomorrow. So now let's break it all down. Working out, to exercise. That's 운동하다. Let me actually write it down. 운동하다. This is the dictionary form of to exercise. What you have to do is to drop this part because all the Korean words in dictionary form will have 다 ending for verbs. So what you're doing is to dropping that and then getting to the stem of the verb, and we call that verb stem. Once you have your verb stem, you can plug it into this verb V in the pattern. So then let me just zoom out so I can see the chart a little better. It will be all together 운동하, which is the stem. Now get the pattern and add it right there. 기로, then have a space because my pattern does have a space right there. 했어요. Yes! 운동하기로 했어요. I decided to work out. When? Starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is 내일. Everybody say 내일. What about starting? Like from tomorrow. So that's going to be 부터. It's another particle. So 내일부터 운동하기로 했어요. So do you see that sometimes you need conjugation. Sometimes you need patterns. Because language is like that, right? We have flexibility, we have expressions, we have particles, like all parts of it all come together. And I teach even patterns in my course, Sentence Freedom. It's literally everything that you need to know to make sentences. So you can check it out. 내일부터 운동하기로 했어요. If that's your also New Year's, I guess, New Year's goals. Give me this. Give me this in the comments because we're on the same boat. Like, yes, let's do it. Let's keep each other accountable. Okay? 내일부터 운동하기로 했어요. So then I will. Some people probably think 운동 can be the object. You can separate it, but I just wanted to let you know this is a whole verb. It's a one verb. 운동하다, to exercise. Okay? Okay, we have two more left. How many minutes have we been on here? 20 minutes already. Wow, time flew by. Okay, here we have the next sentence. Yesterday, I made 떡볶이 with my husband. If you come over to my house, I'm gonna make you 떡볶이 because that's what I'm really good at. That's my specialty. Let me tell you a secret. If you like cooking, if you like spicy food, and you're trying to make tteokbokki at home, can you try putting zucchini there? I know it's like so out of the blue. You're like, zucchini. I know. The sweetness of zucchini goes into this tteokbokki sauce. It's the secret of my tteokbokki. My friends come over, they ask for a recipe, and I literally just go, add zucchini. You're going to get the best one out there. Okay? So that's my secret sauce. And now let's look at the sentence in English. Yesterday, that's going to be when something happened. I made, that's going to be your verb. Tteokbokki is what you made. So it's going to be your object, right? So it's going to go into the object column with my husband. Now, this is not your subject. Do not get it confused. I is the subject. This one. But you don't say the subject when it's I, when it's clear from the context. So this one is actually whom, because it's with my husband. So many students get this part confused. So let me just make it clear. If it's a with someone, it's a whom you're doing it with, not the subject. Okay? So you can put it right here. Let's start with my husband. I already taught you the word for husband earlier. 남편, 남편, 남편. So let's put that. 남편. Wait. Okay. When has to come first? I just saw this part. And I told you in the very beginning, this is the order of W. We have to go when, and then we have to put whom, and then where, right? So in that order, then we have to put when, which is 어제. Yesterday, 어제 남편이랑. So that's another particle for with. That also means and I talk about all of that in my course. 어제 남편이랑 what did you do? Made 떡볶이. So 떡볶이, let's add that. 떡. This is a hard spelling to write. 떡볶이, 떡볶이, 떡볶이. You can put an object marker or you can omit it. 떡볶이를, and then verb is to make. That's 만들다, 만들다, 만들다. You're going to conjugate that to what tense? Look at the English. It is past tense. So you're going to say 만들었어요. 만들었어요. That's a past tense of 만들다. Now let's put it all together. Going from 어제. Ready? 어제 남편이랑 떡볶이를 만들었어요. One more time. 어제 남편이랑 떡볶이를 만들었어요. Pop quiz. If you want to say, I made a pizza with my husband, how would you say it? 어제 남편이랑 피자를 만들었어요. That's it. What about you made pizza with your friend, not your husband, yesterday? 어제 친구랑 피자를 만들었어요. Do you see? When you know more words, more sentences can come out of you. That's just the formula and that's the reality of it. So make sure you study your vocab. And if you always are looking for resources that's made for students, I have all the resources on my website and in the description. All right. That leaves us with our last sentence of the day, and that is going to need a pattern. So I just love giving you guys everything. Like patterns, the subject, conjugation. I wish I can like sit down for 5 hours and teach, but our attention just does not allow that. We're humans, right? And my throat cannot survive that. So just know my heart. Here's your last one. I almost missed my flight. So I'm gonna not include that. Almost happened. When something almost happened, that's another pattern that you need to know. So I'm going to zoom into that and show you. I almost V'd. So it didn't happen. You almost did. Okay, so that expression you will need 르 or 을 뻔했어요. 르 or 을 뻔했어요. When your verb stem ends in a vowel, you're going to choose this one. When your verb stem ends in a consonant, you're going to choose this one. So it depends on your verb stem. So we're going to take a look at the verb and decide. Let me show you how that flashcard works. Okay? So missed. This is going to be the verb. The verb here is, I'm going to write it down for you. 놓치다. 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 Drop the 다. Look at the stem. Does it have a consonant or vowel ending? It just ends in a vowel. So we have to start with this, not the consonant ending. Now, I can start with my verb section here. 놓칠. And then it says 뻔. 놓칠 뻔. And then space 했어요. So there is a space here, there's a space here. 놓칠 뻔했어요. I almost missed. What did you almost miss? Oh, your flight. Your flight in Korean is 비행기. 비행기, 비행기, 비행기. 비행기 and then object mark it. 비행기를 놓칠 뻔했어요. I almost missed the flight. 비행기를 놓칠 뻔했어요. So let me scroll down just a little bit so you guys can see better. 비행기를 놓칠 뻔했어요. So notice how present, past, and future tense conjugation is important. And also pattern study is important. That gives you that flexibility. That gives you that expression that you need to know and you need to express yourself, right? So that's what it takes to study Korean. I mean, make sentences in Korean. And I put it together into this chart. To make sentences naturally in Korean, you need your structure beyond SOV, right? So you can put object, the adverbs and adjectives. So I teach that. And then you need particles. You saw it. You saw how many particles are needed for every section. And then you have to learn how to conjugate your verbs into present tense, past tense, and future tense, and sometimes present progressive like ing forms. And you need patterns because flexibility, as I said, the expressions. And oh my goodness, star on this, vocab expansion. Without your vocabulary, you are not going to be doing anything. You'll be always wondering, how do I say that in Korean? How do I say that in Korean? Right? So all those 5, I call it sentence building pie. You need all 5 parts to make fluent, to make natural sentences in Korean. So you can take a screenshot of it and make sure you study all parts of it. And I do make sure I go over all of them in my course, Sentence Freedom. So if you need me to help you step by step, I have a full course ready for you. It looks something like this inside. Take a look. This is just a sneak peek of it. I couldn't screenshot everything, but basically I have my camera set up like this and I explain to you guys everything that you have to know. I bring props and then there's a mini section. Joyce is another teacher in my team. She has a mini section and she goes over irregular roles too because no one explains about irregulars and she's an expert at that. So if you are looking for your extra advanced help, I'm here for you. Okay, and hundreds of you are already enrolled here. And if you already have this course and you're watching this is a reminder to have your vocab expansion every day and continue to study your Korean. Okay, so that is it for me. You guys, you did an amazing job and I'll see you next time in my next videos. Okay? 안녕!